Hi guys, this is Wenzes from Below the Radar Above the System, and now I want to pick up on a point I made in the last videos that we kind of need to be okay with the way other people perceive us and not to feel like, oh, I have to fight this or I have to do something to change their perception of me. And I've addressed it in a couple of videos, but I think it's important to really make time for that and talk about that specifically because it's a very useful tool that can help us to get control of our life, to enlarge the circle of influence, and to do all those things that help us to become more of who we are, to have inner peace and a successful life, and feel like we're not the victim anymore. So the point is this. The way you perceive reality and life and everything is very individual. Well, it's very specific to you. There's nobody in the world who perceives me the way you perceive me. Like, no matter who watches those videos, everybody has a different perception of me. And this is based on the fact that we all have different experiences, different things different societies we live in, different people we interacted with, different situations we've gone through, and on top of everything, the way our mind works and the way we make connections and so on. So there's no one who will see me the way you see me. Okay, this is just like just to make to give you like an example of how this works. So if you see me as arrogant, then that doesn't mean that the other person sees me as arrogant. They might, but they may not. All those things are about you. The way you perceive me is because of the values you have, because of the things that are important to you. And who am I to tell you how you should perceive me? Like, I'm just like this little bitty part in your life. That's it. Like, I have not the right to tell you how you should perceive me. And once you get that mindset, you'll get really free. And you'll see, well, just because we try to prove ourselves so often to people or to situations that we're strong, that we're capable, that we're love-worthy, that we're good people, and so on, not understanding that we don't have the responsibility or the right to decide how other people are going to perceive their reality or their life. The only thing you have the right and the obligation, if you would say it that way, in this life, is the way you perceive the world. So if you think of yourself, well, I am, I'm giving, I'm good, I'm so on, then no matter who says you're arrogant or a bad person or selfish or whatever they might say, doesn't affect you. It doesn't, if you really believe that. What affected me the most is when people gave me the feeling of, I'm not a good person. I saw this person who, in my opinion, did a lot for others and was loving and giving, and it kind of made me feel like I'm a bad person. And it really, really hurt me. It really made me feel so bad. And then I kind of took a step back and I asked myself, well, why does that bother me? Because apparently it does. If it does, it's not because they think I'm a bad person. It's because I think I'm a bad person. So there's something within me that gives me the belief that I am. And so I have to ask myself, well, is there something I think I should be doing? Something I'm capable of doing that I'm not doing? Or is it that it's just I completely just care about, I define myself by how other people view me and live by this dogma. It's very often a combination of both. For me, it was that I decided, well, that person might think I'm a bad person, and from that belief system, I am. Because at that point, I lived it that way, that if other people think I'm bad, I'm bad. Okay, so I needed to accept that. I've talked about it in a lot of videos before, that it's a lot about accepting that I am unlovable, that I am all those things, in that belief system and that point. And it frees you very much to understand, like to heal that, and then like look at it from a higher perspective and who you want to be. And one of those things that I realized is that I feel like I'm not being a good person because I'm not giving of myself. There was a scarcity, like just like a lack. There was a lack. There was something. I felt like I'm giving everything to people in order for them to give me the feeling that I'm good. And so I wasn't really using my power or my knowledge or whatever I have to give to the world in order to create something better. I just like kind of like took the responsibility to of other people's experiences, and I went in there and got myself my hands dirty in situations that are not meant to be taken care of by me. And that's when I, for example, started those videos, because for me, apparently, I do have something to say that can help other people, and I was not sharing that. I was hoarding all of that. And that's what actually made me feel like I'm a bad person. And then once I decided, well, no matter what that person feels or thinks about me, it's important what I think of myself. And then I asked myself, why do I feel bad? Why does that person mirror those things that I feel about myself? What is it that I'm not doing? And so I started doing them. And that's the best thing. The moment you kind of like stop, you stop giving that other person the power to decide if you're a good person or not. And the way you do that is by accepting that that person will never ever think that you're good, or that person will never ever think that you're cool, or that person will never ever think that you're smart. Do that. Like, accept that. It doesn't matter if it's going to change in the future, just accept that's how it is. No matter what you do, you will not change their mind. And once you do that, you're free. You accept that and you keep going. And then you say, okay, well, that person didn't accept me. I felt that pain. I felt that pain, because all those pains, they're all, that's you. Like that other person that I said that is feeling that way, it's not even that that person actually thinks you're a bad person. That's the funny part about it in most cases. You perceive the other person to think that you're a bad person. Although it might be something completely different. They have their own problems, their own agendas, their own reasons why they act that way towards you. But you see them from your perspective. That person, the way you see it, it's not who they really are. It's how you perceive them. And your perception of them shows them that they don't like you. So actually, it's just like saying you don't like yourself. There's something, this is all you. Your perception, how other people are. So there's something about you that you don't like. And you need to find a way to accept that if it's not changeable, or to change it. And very often it's a combination of both. So as I said, you take the initiative, you be okay with that person not liking you, accepting that as your current belief and the way it works, and then there's some kind of lack. I felt like it was like that for me. I had this urge, I had this anxiety. Anxiety is supposed to be like something that gets you moving. Like, for example, back in the days, if something dangerous happened, you got anxiety because it tells you move, get it going. And that's when the anxiety kind of like goes out, because then you still feel bad and there's nobody, like there's not really a reason, because that person, you've accepted that person doesn't like you. So there's nothing you can blame your anxiety on. You understand it's you who gives you that anxiety. And then you start moving, and then you start doing things that change that give you what you want to feel. If you want to feel powerful, well, do something that proves to yourself that you're powerful. Go into adversity situations and get yourself out of there and prove to yourself. It's not about proving to others. Like the moment you feel like I have to prove to somebody else I'm a good person, that I'm strong and so on, you'll never ever achieve that feeling. It's always about proving it to yourself. Like I had this guy I knew, and he lived at home and went partying all the time, and he was like in his mid-20s, and he wasn't really doing something with his life, but all the money he made, he put into like a nice car, and he drove around, and he still lived at home, and like, and then he wasn't able to get that car, and he got so upset, and it was everything to him. And I always ask myself, well, why, or I even asked him, it's just a car, why do you care? But for him, it was like, that's my status symbol. That's how other people can perceive that I am something. But what would have been a much better step is for you to like not get the car, to be okay with people thinking you're a bum maybe, and to take that money and get yourself a small apartment that is maybe not fancy, but for yourself, you've made that step into independence. You've made yourself the steps to become more of who you want to be, and so on. And it's not about like the external thing. And all those things, once you repeat them to yourself, and once you like understand that everybody has the right to feel about you the way they want to feel about you, the way they want to think about you, you will attract people around you that see the world like you see it. It's not like the law of attraction is like this fancy word, and there's all this esoteric things that's behind it, but it's not. It doesn't have to be this way. You can just like think of it as, if I don't care that person thinks I'm stupid, then I'm just not gonna hang out with them trying to prove myself that I'm not stupid. I'm just gonna go and talk to people who like me and who value me. And so that part, like, so there's nothing around me that reflects to me that I'm stupid. And because in the end, you feel you're stupid, otherwise you wouldn't try to prove to people that you're not. You would just accept, okay, well, they think I'm stupid, okay. So, that's their right. That's their complete right. There's nothing, like, I'm not saying that it's always easy, and if you're like living in a society where people completely suppress you and so on, it's not a horrible feeling, and that you should be strong enough to sustain that. But the concept and the metaphor of it, and to shift like your surrounding and so on, once you realize that you don't feel yourself to be stupid, then you just don't hang out with people who think you do. Because the moment you hang out with people who think you're stupid, you're still at the point where you hang out with people who feel the same way you feel. It's always like that. You always attract people around you that you have some kind of similarities with. So once you get that, it's because if those people think you're stupid, it's because you think of yourself you're stupid. And that's why you hang out with them. And then you need to figure out, why do I think that I'm stupid? Like, okay, first then accept, from this perspective, I am stupid. Okay, but then I'm just gonna hang out with people that help me to make myself feel like I'm smarter, or, whatever. Just like kind of make those steps. Because it's always relative anyways. I mean, like, there's so many people who thought of me, oh, I'm so smart, and there's so many people who think I'm so completely stupid and full of it and don't know nothing. Like, it's everywhere. But I don't have people telling me all those things, because I don't get into situations where people could. Like, I really don't. Like, I gotten it to like such a small degree because I myself think I'm worthy and I'm smart and I know where I'm going, and I'm a good person and so on. So I just don't hang out with people who give me a different impression of me. Yeah. So this is my view on letting people think of you what they want to think, and be okay with it, because in the end it's a perception you have and you allow and so on, and to just kind of like take a step back and figure out why they feel like this, and accept that. And it's not even, just like as a last word, it's not even that those people will think of you like that forever. Because they have their own issues and their own things. And sometimes it even happens that people who you respect and they feel bad about you, once you take those steps to prove to yourself that you're not that, not to prove it to themselves, it triggers something in them. And then you both are on a high level and you forgive everything that's happened, because it's all based on your own fears throughout life and all those things, those bad beliefs you've gathered. And it's not so much that other person hurt you, it's that you allowed this hurt, and that you attracted this hurt and this suffering for a particular reason. So, yeah, I hope this helps you. Looking forward to your comments as always. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel and like the video if you do. And talk to you next time. Bye. Growth of what I can do, what I've learned, and so on. And once you really tackle those and tell her, oh, she looks so beautiful and so on. I love doing that. But those are two separate things. The one is something you do proactively by